Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
February 24th marked the 2-year anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and 40 cities around Canada held rallies to show their solidarity, including in the border city. Our Ben Loan has more.
Supporters gathered in front of City Hall Saturday to show their support for Ukraine. Flags were waved and posters held high to the support of honking vehicles driving by. Many Ukrainian citizens like Elise Olinik have moved to Lloydminster in recent years. She has lost a cousin and a classmate in the war and understands firsthand how the war has affected the country.
All my family, my husband's family too, they still live in Ukraine. Yeah, and it's heartbroken for us. I feel like I cannot breathe. It's painful. It's horrible.
According to CBC, over 10,500 Ukrainian civilians have been killed during the war, and over 6 million Ukrainians have been displaced. And as the war continues, we could see those numbers rise. Since the beginning of the war, the Canadian government has been in support of Ukraine. Canada has committed over $13.3 billion in funding. But local supporter Lilia Supchuk thinks the government can do more.
We need more weapons, and especially for artillery. Because if you give us this, we will win.
Suvchuk also stressed the importance social media has had in the global support for Ukraine.
To talk with our friends, like everywhere on Facebook and all social medias, that we need to stand with Ukraine, support, and like all together, and Ukraine will win.
But no matter where someone lives in Canada, Ukrainians are extremely grateful for the support.
I would like to say a huge thank you for all Canadian citizens who support Ukraine, who still, after 2 years, they not give up and try to do best what they can do to help Ukraine to win this war, because we don't have another choice. We're supposed to win this war.
For Primetime Local News, I'm Ben Loan.
Saskatchewan teachers, including those in Lloydminster, are taking part in job action this week as their union continues to pressure the government to return to the bargaining table. We spoke to the president of the Lloydminster Teachers Association about the ongoing dispute.
I am speaking here today with Derek Armstrong, and he is the president of the Lloydminster Teachers Association. And we're talking about the latest job action by the Saskatchewan Teachers Federation. Can you tell me, Derek, what is happening this week?
So this week we know about Monday through Thursday at this point. Today is a withdrawal of extracurricular activities in Lloydminster, as well as other locations throughout the province. Tuesday, tomorrow, is a full-on rotating strike, which includes Lloydminster. On Wednesday, Lloydminster is not participating in any of the sanction activities. And on Thursday, we have a withdrawal of noon supervision.
This latest action, it's one of the latest in a series of job actions that have been taken. Is there any hope that the government's going to return to the bargaining table soon?
Absolutely. Throughout the process of this, Leanne, that is the teachers' hope, is that the government will return to the table and that they'll negotiate in good faith, that they'll bring a renewed mandate back. And it is a strong expectation from teachers that we discuss the working conditions. The working conditions of teachers are the learning conditions of students, and class size and composition has been highlighted in the media lately. And I think people are getting a better understanding of what that means. And it's important enough to be inside our collective agreement.
There's also been strong support for the STF all along through this whole process. Do you feel that strong support is continuing?
Absolutely. We have felt that support since the very beginning. We saw the outpouring of that support in the strike days that we had in January. We had so many community members reaching out in person, on social media. We had great response from the media coverage, tons of people popping by and allowing teachers to warm up with coffees and treats, and a lot of support from the public, for sure.
As far as the teachers, the membership goes, are they staying positive and, remaining strong in their belief that this will happen?
They are. This is a bargaining round like no other. This is one where our top kind of focus is to look at the classroom impact of an underfunded situation. No one's looking to line their pockets. We don't even want to discuss salary at this point. While salary is important, it's important that teachers are compensated fairly. It's important that we consider recruitment and retention in this province. But really, we want to look at a broken, underfunded system, and we want to get the supports back into schools that help support students.
Something that some of the teachers were highlighting in Saskatchewan last week was incidents of violence that they have encountered in their classrooms. Is this something that anybody has seen in Lloydminster, or is the situation different here?
It's definitely not different. Teachers and schools are not immune to the challenges experienced elsewhere in this province. Um, and it's just important to remember that the people who work in schools are not dispensable. We need to protect students. We need to protect the adults that work in buildings. And really, when we're talking about violence with the government, we're talking about the ability to track what is going on, the ability to talk about what is going on, and to make necessary changes and improvements. And this is just, baby steps in that part of the process when it comes to violence. But really, it's a conversation starter to get the government to hear us, to stop saying that violence is just slips, trips, and falls in schools, and to actually bargain in good faith on that particular item.
All right, Derek, those are my only questions for you. Is there anything else that you would like to tell people about today?
I just would like to communicate again to the community that we are incredibly appreciative of the support that teachers and all school staff are feeling. We know that parents have our backs. We know and understand that sanctions are disruptive, but we need to send a message to government that it's not okay to continue to put education to the side. We need to properly resource the solutions that will help students in the long run.
All right, Derek, thank you so much for your time today. I do appreciate it.
The Cutter Rally for Cancer event was held on Saturday at the Lloydminster Exhibition Grounds. Our Leo Cruzat had a chance to take in the event and talk to one of the organizers to tell us more about it.
Tammy Hampel, who is one of the co-chair of the Cutter Rally for Cancer Committee, expressed her excitement as they celebrate their 20th anniversary.
We have some really exciting presentations to make this afternoon, and honoring people that have been with this organization for the full 20 years that we've been here, or definitely had some significant contributions to it.
The Cutter Rally also featured a new attraction that was added to the trail.
We do have a hayride that's happening outside. It does not take you through all of the checkpoints, but it will give you a tour of what's happening out there. You'll get an opportunity to see all of the horses and wagons and rigs and whatnot. We have a Pop One for Perry. This is the second year we've done that particular raffle, which is the door prize for that is incredible. It's a beautiful, beautiful fire pit.
The event also had a silent auction with number of donations from the sponsors such as barbecue grill, woodworking tool, and kitchen appliances, as well as 3 grand prizes including a cutter that is worth $3,400. Hampel said that the committee made a lot of effort promoting the event, such as posting on their social media page to reach the broader community. She also added the importance and intentions to have this event in Lloydminster and for the horse riding community.
Initially it was intended to pull the driving community together and get all of those folks involved, because we know that not everybody likes to compete, which is what the East-West chapter does, a lot of competition stuff. Not everybody likes to be on a committee, not everybody likes to show their horses, but we do know that there's a lot of heavy horse guys out there, light horse people, miniature horse people, that would do something like this and not have to be on a committee or part of an organization.
If you missed the event, you can find more updates and information to their Facebook page or on their website at cutterrallyforcancer.com. Leo Cruzat, Primetime, Local News.
It's time now for this week's edition of Retrospect with Callum Hawker.
This week in retrospect, we take it back to February 22nd of 1995, where local high schools start a new teleconferencing educational pilot project.
It's the latest thing in distance education, audiographics teleconferencing. This technology enhances your learning experience by adding computers and special software, along with audio microphones and speakers. This allows both audio and visual information to be transmitted over regular phone lines and received at all the sites simultaneously. It's a plus for students at all the campuses.
I think they benefit because they can access the class. Otherwise, they would have to take it by another way, but perhaps by correspondence, where they're not in touch with the instructor on a weekly basis.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sort of adjust to this sort of atmosphere.
Oh, there's definitely adjustment period, but I do think they do adjust. They have to become more independent learners as a result of the audiographics, but some of the students certainly don't mind that. They find that the more they put into it, the more they'll get out.
This idea started as a pilot project, but now 50 to 60 students a year are taking classes on everything from business to high school credit courses with the equipment. But students discover learning over the wire has its drawbacks.
In a classroom environment, if you had a question, you'd ask immediately so you wouldn't lose your train of thought. So sometimes it's easy to lose your train of thought because she's speaking and you don't want to miss what she's saying.
Lori, will the exam
You can get talking amongst yourselves and the instructor doesn't know that, and she's still talking. So as a group, we have to try and stay more focused and not talk amongst ourselves to disrupt the class.
These students are taking a night class on marketing. The teleconferencing setup provides for interesting class interaction because their classmates are scattered from Fort Kent to St. Paul and their teacher is in Vermilion. I had a chance to speak with the instructor and ask her a few questions about the arrangement.
As an instructor, how do you find teaching through a machine basically instead of one-on-one with the students?
I find that it's much more teacher-centered and that you have to give a lot more direction to the students as compared to in a classroom where a lot of classroom dynamics take place.
The experience seems to take some getting used to, but students agree that if it means they can take a class that wouldn't otherwise be offered, they'll learn through a machine any day. Julie Matthews, NewsHour.
And in 1999, we take a look at the MS walk throughout Alberta and one right here in Lloydminster.
Canada supports more MS research than any other country in the world. The Super Cities Walk plays a big role in fundraising for that research. This year, 10 satellite walks have been added across Alberta, including here in Lloydminster.
It's a fun event. The people come out, they walk, they get some free food, some great entertainment. There's tons of prizes. It's a really fun day, and the walks that we've done in the past, that I certainly have coordinated, have been excellent. The response has been wonderful, and that's why they keep growing year after year.
The aim is for 130 walkers and $17,000 in pledges. Some would say a lofty goal for a first year, but organizers are confident Border City residents will come through.
I know Lloydminster well enough after being here a year that the community support is excellent, and so I can't see a reason why we won't surpass the 130 walkers.
The walk itself will travel city trails and Bud Miller Park. Participants will have 3 distances to choose from: 1 kilometer, 5K, and 10K. Whatever the distance, though, they will all be walking to help find a cure and enhance the quality of life for those who suffer.
It's out there more than what you really realize, but nobody talks about it. And like myself, on a bad day, I don't go out in public. On a good day, I will. So, you know, a lot of people don't even know I have it.
MS is the most common disease of the central nervous system. It affects nearly 50,000 Albertans. The Midwest, including Lloydminster, has one of the highest per capita rates of MS in the world. That's mainly because of geographic reasons, but all the more reason for research and fundraising.
50% of the money raised from the walk will go directly to research. 25% will be designated for patient services, examples being informative literature and videos. The remaining 25% will filter down to the local MS chapter.
But really the best thing about this is after the fact, when we've met our goal and everyone is on a high and the volunteers in the committee are running around hugging and screaming and yelling, that we're helping the people in the community. And that's the biggest thing, is because there are so many people, and I know from doing the walk, and I get to meet the people that have MS, and it really becomes a personal issue. So that's the best part, is we can see hope and, you know, a cure for them.
Shannon Fagan, NewsHour.
And that's all for this week in Retrospect.
Retrospect is brought to you by Webb's Machinery. Find New Holland products at Webb's Machinery, your dealer in Vermilion, Vegreville, Lamont, Wainwright, St. Paul, and Consort.
Abby St. John joins me now for the weather, and wow, that was quite a lot of snow to wake up to this morning. Even though they were warning us, it still felt like a lot.
Yes, definitely. And, you know, I think that's what we were expecting, and I think we're going to expect just a little bit more, but not too bad. But the city wants to remind people that they will be starting to clear snow in the downtown area starting tomorrow night, Tuesday, and they're just asking that people don't park on the streets overnight, just so that it's easier for them to work, and it's also safer for the crews as well. But going off of temperatures right now, currently we are sitting at -20 here in the border city, but it feels closer to -31 with that wind chill, so we are unfortunately back in those cold temperatures. Overcast day out today, which we saw. I actually did get stuck in our parking lot today. I don't know if I definitely shouldn't have been the only one probably dealing with that, as we did get a lot of snow overnight. Winds at 20 kilometers per hour as well. Current temperatures across Alberta, -20 out in Marwayne, St. Paul, Vegreville, Edmonton, and Provost. -21 in Wainwright, -19 in Vermilion, Cold Lake, and Lac La Biche, and -17 in Bonnyville. On the Saskatchewan side, -18 in Pierceland, -19 in Green Lake, Meadow Lake, St. Walburg, and Maidstone, and -21 out in Isla Crosse, Macklin, and in North Battleford. Overnight tonight in North Battleford will drop down to -31, so it will be very cold out tonight, and it will be quite cloudy. Very overcast overnight tonight. Winds not too strong at 9 kilometers per hour. And then tomorrow, expected daytime high of -19, so it's also going to be very cold out tomorrow. So definitely take caution when going outside. Definitely make sure you are bundled up. There will be clouds throughout the day, but for the most part, it should be sunny in the afternoon, which is nice. And winds also will remain not too strong at 9 kilometers per hour. Overnight tonight in Cold Lake will drop down to -24, considerably cloudy, quite chilly out as well, 11 kilometer per hour winds. And then tomorrow a daytime high of -15. There will be some clouds in the sky, but it will give way to the sun as the day goes on, 13 kilometer per hour winds. And then overnight tonight here in Lloydminster will drop down to -27. We will have a very cold evening out tonight. Cloudy conditions as well, so definitely take caution if you're going out tonight. 11 kilometer per hour winds as well. And then tomorrow, to break down the day, -26 at around 6 a.m. 9 kilometer per hour winds and cloudy skies. We should have some sun throughout the day tomorrow, which will be nice, -20 around noon. 11 kilometer per hour winds, which will remain into the evening at around 6 p.m. Partially cloudy skies with -21, -26 by midnight, so it's going to be a very cold night out as well. And then over the next 3 days, like I said, a high -17, a low of -28 for tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, quite cloudy and frigid with a high of -17 and a low of -19. And then on Thursday, 80% chance of some afternoon snow, about 1 to 3 centimeters is predicted. However, we are sitting at -5 for the daytime high with a low of -20. So it's not going to be too cold, or hopefully not too cold out throughout the day, but there is that snow warning. But that is a first look at your evening weather forecast. I'll have more overnight temperatures later on in the show. The Lloydminster Bobcats had their annual Pink in the Rink game alongside Lloydminster and District Co-op last Friday against the Drayton Valley Thunder. Our Thomas Wildman has more on the exciting night.
The Centennial Civic Center was filled with fans, with many wearing pink shirts for the annual Kindness Wins initiative with Lloydminster Co-op. The Bobcats themselves showing their support, wearing pink warm-up jerseys before the game, and the players were grateful for the support from the community.
It's super important for us. I mean, I know all the guys love to see the barn packed, so it's really good to see lots of people coming out to support us, especially all the pink shirts and stuff. It's for a good cause too, so it was really good to see for us. It motivates us for sure.
There was still a game to be played, and the Drayton Valley Thunder were ready to play spoiler. The opening frame was a chippy one, with loads of big hits and penalties, as well as great defense and goaltending from both teams. The Bobcats would use one of those opportunities on the power play to open up the scoring. Ben Acoin would get one by Nicholas Cristiano, but that would be it for the first period. The second period didn't disappoint, as Sammy May would even it up for the Thunder a minute and 9 seconds in, but the tie game would last less than 40 seconds. Alessio Nardelli put it top shelf to take back the lead for the Bobcats, and later in the second the Thunder would run into some penalty trouble as both Ben Acoin and Caden Steinke would score on the power play, leading to a 4-1 score. As the period dragged on, frustration set in for the Thunder, and a huge hit by Jace Moffat on Lucas McGowan crossed a line for Oren Olsen, leading to the gloves being dropped. Both players would receive game misconducts and be out of the game, but for the Bobcats, that response to the hit shows how close they are as a team.
We tell our guys, and the message is that, hey, if one of your players, like McGowan there gets hit hard and he's shooken up, we got to have everybody in there. And Olsen, he stood up to the plate tonight. Those are good things to take as far as a team. That shows you're connected and guys, want to play for one another, and guys are putting the jersey on for the right reasons.
Kurt Graham would score for the Thunder early in the third, but Caden Steinke would ice the game with his second of the night with an empty netter. Aidan LaRose would get one more late to lead to a 6-2 Bobcats victory.
Yeah, I think we played good all three periods. We lost last time in Drayton Valley, so we definitely wanted to get them back for that. They got a quick one in the third, but I think after that we shut it down, so the team played really well tonight.
With a win against the Thunder and a win the next night against the Camrose Kodiaks, the Bobcats currently are tied for second in the AJHL standings with the Bonnyville Pontiacs. The Bobcats plan to finish the regular season strong and continue to play their game to hopefully be prepared for a deep playoff run.
Just going into every game, every battle, every practice, pushing each other, and just doing the best we can to put ourselves in a good spot.
Thomas Wildman, Primetime, local news.
Now it's time to have a look at all of the cute pet pictures you've been sending in to us for our Pets of the Day.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to have them featured on Pet of the Day.
I am here today speaking with Karen Dommett. Thank you for joining me, Karen. And Karen is the general manager of the 2024 Special Olympics Winter Games in Calgary that are about to or getting underway this week. Can you tell me, Karen, what's the mood like there as the athletes start arriving? Are they pretty excited?
Holy smokes. Yeah, the energy is incredible. Calgary has put on a warm welcome for these athletes coming in from across the country with all our Stampede traditions and Western roots. And yeah, the athletes have just been so excited as they touch down.
So what is going to be getting underway first, and where will it be happening?
Yeah, so our very first kind of prelude event is this afternoon. We have a celebrity snowshoe race taking place at Maple Ridge. So not with the athletes, but with a bunch of our local supporters and Olympic athletes and stuff that are going to step into the snowshoes of a Special Olympic athlete. And then tomorrow, practices get underway. So all sports, so alpine skiing, cross-country skiing, curling, figure skating, floor hockey, snowshoeing, and speed skating all get underway at their sport venues tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow evening is the opening ceremony.
I guess for the athletes, there is a fair amount of excitement, as you said, but what is the meaning of the games for them?
Yeah, I mean, without Special Olympics, there is no opportunity or often very limited opportunities for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities to compete in sport. That was the whole basis of Special Olympics being created, was to improve the health outcomes and change perceptions of persons with intellectual disabilities. So the This sheer fact to have Special Olympics caters to an incredible need to thousands and thousands of Canadians. But to have this opportunity to compete on the national stage, that these athletes have trained and worked just as hard as any generic sport athlete does to compete at this level, and are so incredibly deserving of this experience and opportunity and this high level of delivery of sport. For many of these athletes, it's their opportunity to also earn their spot on Team Canada to go to the World Games in Italy in 2025.
All right. Well, Karen, thank you so much for meeting with me so bright and early. And I hope everything goes exceedingly well this week for you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.